Let's, well, in case people missed the last time we had a conversation, I guess if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Yes, how you doing, Bill? My name is Hakim Coggins, and I work for Newport Bridge, new nonprofit organization. I also work for Strategic Prevention Partnerships, and I also as well work for Turnaround Ministries.
And anybody who wants more information on those programs, just wherever you're listening or watching this right now, you'll find a podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago that we get into detail there. Look, you're working on something, you're working on a couple of things that are really, really essential to our community. But one thing is workforce development. Tell us about some of the work that's happening right now, because this is one, it's very hyper local to our community, but also it's across a lot of different age groups and life points and life experiences. It's really fascinating and really important. So, what can you share about that?
Basically, the workforce development is something that I just got involved in, and what I come to find out is that when you say workforce development, it's kind of like bringing everybody in together. So for instance, like one example of a workforce development would be to bring in kind of like Fab Newport into the community, to the schools, to the community, which would be Hot Club. This is something where you can implement different, the informal ways of teaching kids certain skills, life skills that maybe the teachers are not, skilled at doing, or maybe not willing to do. But people that have a passion and a gift for it can come in and kind of like collaborate with the school and bring that to the table. And the school would just provide the platform for them to go. So that would be one form of workforce development. So it's basically like everybody coming together as organizations and working together to come up with curriculums. Maybe certain people are good in one way and certain people are not good in one way. So maybe they can pull them in. One thing that we do at the PASS program is we bring all organizations in, and they present what they have to offer and what resources they can give. And a lot of things that can't be taught, such as housing when you get a raise, things of that nature. It's basically like you're not getting a raise because um, the money that you get a raise for goes to the landlord, basically. So you know, these are like certain things that you have to learn how to like maneuver with through and be ready for, kind of. So
Yeah. Well, it's so important because financial literacy is something that's not taught in our schools at all, and it's one of the most important things that people need to know. And also, a lot of us working class folks are at a huge disadvantage because we don't have the benefit of having advisors that we're paying to tell us the things that you're describing are taught. These basic understand. They're not actually that basic because there's a lot of things you need to know, but it's really important that people not only are able to find a job, but they're able to know how to use what they're able to get financially and life experience wise to better themselves and not just get trapped in that cycle, the rat race as it's called. And you're doing a great job with that. What do you think the biggest impact you've had on the ground right now has been in the early days here?
I would say basically like my experience, what I've learned as I've been living here. I found that you have to basically to afford market rent, you have to be getting paid at least $25 an hour. Um, and the average pay here is probably anywhere from 17 to 20. So that will force you into having to go into affordable housing. And you know, that's the kind of the thing that people are trying to work with. And the thing with affordable housing is it's a long list of people that's waiting for that. So it's like kind of people kind of like getting caught up, getting held back because of that, and losing their apartments and not able to sustain, all of their bills because they're not able to live the market rent prices and all that. The price of food is up, everything's up. So I would say, that's mostly what I can bring to the table is kind of like, what one of the classes I teach is called it's like a toolkit, and basically is like try to like show people ways to save, where you can make money, different ways to make money online, things of that nature, things to put in just to look for jobs at certain places where, if your car breaks down, if you're not able to fix your car, these scenarios that I experienced in life, I try to, teach them to prevent people from getting into the situation, that makes you fall behind or fall off the wagon.
Right. Yeah, and it's you're able to bring those life experiences to the table for sure. What can the city of Newport do? What can the community, the business community, what can anybody who's listening to this right now do to sort of continue this collaboration that you're fostering around this issue? What do you need from people right now?
One thing would be I know this might sound a little I thought about this for a while, but I think the affordable housing thing, I don't know about it. I haven't really figured it out too
Mhm.
much. But the aspect of you getting a raise and that money coming out of your pocket as soon as you get the raise, I don't know if it's not fair or it is fair, because it's like, if you can afford actually market rent, that's okay. But if you can't afford it, I don't know. It's sort of like if people would take advantage of that resource if they didn't take the money out that you when you get a raise. So basically, people would try to go for affordable housing so they can kind of save. But I think that there should be a way for it to give you a little bit of way to, like, put a little bit of money in your pocket in case you want to kind of be an entrepreneur and things of that nature. So by being in affordable housing, if you're making a certain amount of money, it goes by that. So, for instance, if you get paid $20 an hour, they take out so much money. If you get a raise to $22 an hour, your rent gets raised. So you're not really reaping the benefit of affordable housing, basically. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that would be something that I would like to kind of like tweak a little bit if that can be done. But like I said, some people might abuse the system or the resource and mess it up for everybody else.
Right. That's always the question with these kinds of things is like, how much faith can we put in people to do the quote unquote right thing so that we don't have to have ways to sort of protect against the people who won't do the right thing, and it backfires on most working people these because most people would probably want to do the right thing. I also think we have to have a broader conversation right now, and I don't think it's even an opinion. I think it's a journalistic sort of straight down the middle fact. The housing market across every level of housing in Newport, in Rhode Island, probably around the country, but especially here, it's completely out of control. And what do we mean by out of control? We mean it doesn't seem like we're at a point where it's reachable or attainable for so many people to maneuver, whether that means rent, whether that means buying their first home, downsizing, folks that want to retire and downsize. It just seems like we're at this really bad place right now. In fact, it doesn't just seem it, we are there. So I guess last question is, what's your message to anybody out there right now that's struggling to rent an apartment? Maybe they want to buy their first home. Maybe they want to downsize. What's your message, almost from an inspirational side about where we're heading and what your work might be able to do to help them?
I would say, basically, like, just think back to when the pandemic came and, you know, how you was able to survive and how you was able to get through that. Me personally, I try to live like if I didn't have a job, sort of say. So I try to like put all my money to the side because you never know. And through my life, I found that things happen. And when things happen and you're not prepared for it financially, it could throw you through a whirlwind and you can like really fall off. So I think the main thing is to just try to like you said, downsize, maybe go to the dollar store instead of maybe not eat out as much, cook some home cooked meals, maybe buy in bulk. The key is to save and so that's just basically all I could say right now is just save. And I know you have to still live at the end of the day, but saving is very important.
Well said. Hey, thanks so much for all of your work. We really appreciate it. And thanks once again for coming back on the show. Let's keep this going with regularity.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.